that John, wanted to talk about, or me particularly address. And one of the things that I kind of spoke to John about before is the most important thing in my mind when you're going to talk to a lender, a traditional bank lender, is be prepared. Be prepared in knowledge of what you're looking for, how you want to move in your business plan and how you want your company to grow, as far as, how many investments that you'd like to obtain. And most of all, know financially where you are. There's certain things that lenders can tell you, this is what I have to have, have to have. And the thing that sometimes investors don't realize is, this house is going to make money, or this is going to be happen. But right now we need to know, where you sit financially in order for us to be able to lend on a, I hate to say if come maybe, but things happen, and we just need to be prepared, just like you guys do. One of the things that I want to talk to is the things that we require when you come. We require typically 3 years of your personal and corporate tax returns, personal financial statement, rent roll, debt schedule. And really, if it's a refinance from another institution, then we would need to know those terms. But also, we'd like to let you know that we would do 80% LTV on the appraisal amount of a refi. If it's a purchase, we do 80% of the purchase price, unless there is an opportunity for you guys to rehab. If you're looking for funds to rehab, New Frontier offers a 12-month interest-only rehab product that allows you to go in and rehab the project on a interest-only basis, turning it into a P&I at the end of the project once you get that completed. So that always helps too, because we can do an as completed appraisal, and then that way you'll kind of know where your pro forma is, and the rent that you're looking to obtain, and get those numbers together and be able to present it to a lender so that it's kind of all thrown right there. They can take a look at it. One of the things that I always say, it doesn't go if it doesn't cash flow. So keep that in mind. We require, obviously, the potential loans to cash flow. We do look at a global cash flow unit. We also look at pro formas that allow us to tell, where are you going with this project? What do you think? Like I said, what do you think the rent's going to be, your expenses, taxes, insurance, PTIT, everything that you have, where do you think you're going to be? And we can run a formula, and we can get to a debt service. A debt service is really just the ability to be able to see how you can pay for the product. It's called debt service ratio coverage. I don't know if you've ever debt service. A lot of people call it a lot of different things. Most lenders require a 1.25 times on a debt service ratio. What that means is for every dollar you have debt, you would have $1.25 in cash flow coming in, if that makes sense. So, that's typical in the industry, that, the cash flow needs to be there. We do look at, you guys have intimate businesses. You guys are small investors in terms of, the intimacy, like a lot of your personal funds are put in there. A lot of you guys just group everything together, on a Schedule E on your personal tax return. So it kind of is, it is intimate, whereby we would take a global. And what that means is that we would take all of your rentals, along with all of your personal information, and put that together to get a debt service, if you will. So that's just kind of the traditional lending. That's kind of letting you know what you need to be prepared when you go talk to a lender. One important thing is we want to loan money. We do. But we want to work together and develop that relationship and walk that walk with you guys. It's just important to find a lender who understands what your business model is, understands, like I said, where you want to go. Where do you want to take this? Do you just want to own, flip and, and be done with it? Or do you want to own these properties and rent them? What's your experience in renting? Those kind of things. I know back in, a few years ago when things were kind of crazy, everybody thought they could be an investor. Everybody thought, oh my goodness, I see a house at the front of my street. I could make so much money on that. That's not true. Not everybody can be an investor. So keep that in mind too. But there's just, rates right now are still kind of where they're at and what they're doing. We're probably at 8.25 on that type of thing. If it's if it's a line of credit for a construction loan, for a adjustable rate, we're at prime minus a quarter, I think. At fixed rate, we're at prime plus a quarter. So there's some options to see where you can go. Right now, prime's at 8.5. Don't see, obviously, it's not going to raise anymore this year, but they're thinking it's going to be a soft landing for next year. So hopefully, people, I think the strategy was for, 3.5 rates aren't prime is never probably going to come back in our world. But, taking it to 8 or 9, that's really a shocker compared to what we were and what we were paying. I think the feds are really trying to get us comfortable with, a 6% rate. If you got a 6% rate right now, you think, oh my gosh, that's a great rate. You forget that they took it all the way up so they can bring it down so that everybody's going to be comfortable with that rate and try to keep that in their minds. So there's not that sticker shock, if you will. So, but yeah, that's the rates. I'd love to answer any questions and be more specific on anything that you guys might be dealing with, or have lenders that, questions. If anyone's has questions, I'd happy to answer.